Dear ex-husband, I'm writing you this letter to tell you that I'm leaving you forever. I've been a good woman to you for 7 years, and I have nothing to show for it. These last 2 weeks have been hell. Your boss called to tell me that you quit your job today, and that was the last straw. Last week you came home and didn't even notice I had a new hairstyle, had cooked your favorite meal, and even wore a brand new nightie. You ate in 2 minutes and went straight to sleep after watching your TV soaps. You don't tell me you love me anymore. You don't touch me or anything. Either you're cheating on me or you don't love me anymore. Whatever the case, I'm gone. Don't try to find me. Your brother and I are moving away to West Virginia together. Have a great life.
Dear ex-wife, nothing has filled my heart with joy and made my day more than receiving your letter. It's true that you and I have been married for 6 years, although a good life partner is a far cry from what you've been. I watch Netflix so much to try to drown out your constant nagging. Too bad that doesn't work. I did notice when you had gotten your hair done last week, the first thing that came to mind was, you look just like a man. My parents raised me to not say anything if you can't say anything nice and good. When you cooked my favorite meal, you must have gotten me confused with my brother because I stopped eating meat 3 years ago and you forgot I'm a vegan. I actually started to cuddle you when you had on that new lingerie, but I stopped because the price tag was still on it. I prayed that it was a coincidence that my brother had just borrowed $300 from me that morning, and your lingerie was $299.99. After all of this, I still loved you and felt that we could work out of it together. So when I found out that I had hit the lotto for $15 million, I quit my job and bought us 2 tickets to Hawaii. But when I got home, you were long gone. Everything happens for a reason, I guess. I hope you have the fulfilling life you always wanted. My lawyer assured me with your letter that you wrote, you won't get a dime from me, so take care. By the way, I don't know if I ever told you this, but John, my brother, was born Jane. I hope that's not an issue. Signing off, rich as hell and happy.
This chick thought she was delivering a mic drop. Turns out she handed him the whole speaker system. Imagine thinking you're getting the last laugh by running off with your husband's brother, only to find out you just booked a one-way trip to Brokeback, West Virginia with Jane. She served up betrayal like it was gourmet, bragging about ditching him after mooching off his loyalty, his money, and apparently his genetics. Then boom, karma hits like a freight train. Not only did she miss out on $15 million, but she left the guy right as he was trying to fix everything. Plot twist. He dodged a bullet and she walked straight into a minefield, heels first. And this guy, absolute legend, drops his own savage letter without breaking a sweat. Rich as hell and happy, that's the energy. He kept receipts, clapped back with precision, and shut the door on her mess with a lawyer-approved slam. Now she's stuck with her little brotherly fling while he's sipping pina coladas in Hawaii with a stack of cash and zero stress. Moral of the story, don't play games unless you've read the rulebook, or you'll get outplayed, outclassed, and out of luck.
That what men really feel most of the time when it comes to divorce is resentment, not surprise, not loss, not grief, but resentment at losing their very own personal absorber of all their negative externalities, of their personal patriarchal absorber of responsibilities, absorber of costs. One need look no further than how most men behave in custody battles. And that is this. Most men, we know statistically, they do not show up. They do not contest the mother's custody order. They actually do nothing. And then, subsequent to having no custody assigned to them, they either come around and look for—
You guys cannot be out here telling yourselves that men are so resentful because, they're giving up their unpaid labor. They're paying for it every single day when they go to work. They're paying for it every time you have a mental outburst about some bullshit from 10 years ago. He's paying for it every single time he misses a birthday or a holiday, or he can't be at a sporting event because mom moved so far fucking away. He is literally paying for the consequences of the woman's actions every single fucking day, and y'all never want to take accountability for your part in it. He's paying for it every single time he has to come home to an empty house with toys all over the place. He's paying for it every single time that child support hits, and he has to pay for 2 households. And if anything, if men are resentful, they have every single right to be, because there's no way that he has to live like this for the rest of his life because of the consequences of your actions to not making the relationship work. And before you come at me with any kind of abuse bullshit, I'm not talking about abusive situations. They're paying for it every single time you're bitter and have to take him to court or want to take him to court for custody. Y'all never ask yourselves why these men have to fight for custody in the first place. And let's be so for real. The only people in these kind of equations that are resentful are the mothers that become single mothers and now have to do it all by themselves, even though they get government assistance, they get help from child support, they get all of these government programs to help them while the dads suffer in fucking silence. And y'all never want to talk about that. You're so self-centered that you only think about yourself in this equation, even though you created this entire situation by initiating divorce in the first place. But then you spew out this bullshit that men are resentful because they're basically losing their unpaid labor. No.
Here's the raw truth nobody wants to admit. When divorce hits, most men aren't crying in the shower about love lost. They're pissed off. Why? Because they lost the one person society told them was supposed to soak up their stress, carry the weight, and keep the ship steady while they bled for the bills. Suddenly, she's gone, the home's empty, and the court just hit him with a bill that feels like rent on a house they can't even enter anymore. And you want to call that resentment over unpaid labor? Nah, it's resentment over being turned into an ATM with no access. Most dudes don't even fight in court because the system tells them it's already rigged. They check out, not because they don't care, but because the outcome feels pre-decided. Then they're slapped with child support, guilt-tripped over birthdays missed from hundreds of miles away, and labeled deadbeats while they silently fund 2 households and die inside one of them. If he's resentful, it's because the same woman who wanted out now acts like she's the only victim, while he gets the silence, the receipts, and none of the kids. And we still wonder why men bottle it all up until it explodes.
Plan to get him to lose his cool in front of a witness so you can use it against him in court. Fail miserably.
It's sad, isn't it?
Like, I knew that I was ready to leave that day, but I couldn't believe that that was his reaction. There was no empathy, there was no compassion, there was no, like, wanting to fight for us, which...
Fight for what? To give you validation after you tried to rip his guts out in front of a stranger? Or to give you ammo to use against him in court?
I don't think so.
I didn't think that there would be, but, you know, you just always hope that, like, one last try, you know? We went home that night. We didn't speak. He slept on the couch. I woke up and went to work the next day. Came home. He was playing PlayStation that night. I sat next to him. We hadn't talked in 24 hours. And I said, can we talk about what happened yesterday? And he was just playing, just looking straight ahead. And he was like, what's to talk about? In my mind, I'm thinking, this is our last ditch effort to, like, steer the ship around, you know? And I was like, so what are we gonna do? And he just kept playing. And he was like, I already got an apartment. I already took my name off of the lease. He had done things. Within that 24 hours, he had opened up the filing folder of his single man life and went ahead and got all the shit done.
Yeah.
You tried to provoke him into losing his cool in front of a witness, probably hoping for a courtroom performance you could twist into legal ammo. And when he didn't take the bait, you were shocked he didn't chase after the relationship you were actively trying to destroy. That's not lack of empathy, that's a man done playing emotional hostage. While you were planning your next manipulation move, he was quietly reclaiming his peace, securing an apartment, taking his name off the lease, and setting himself free in 24 hours flat. You expected a last-ditch fight, but he gave you something better: silence, boundaries, and a clean break. That's not cold. That's a man who's finally had enough.
We went home that night. We didn't speak. He slept on the couch. I woke up and went to work the next day. Came home. He was playing PlayStation that night. I sat next to him. We hadn't talked in 24 hours. And I said, can we talk about what happened yesterday? And he was just playing, just looking straight ahead. And he was like, what's to talk about? In my mind, I'm thinking, this is our last ditch effort to, like, steer the ship around, you know? And I was like, so what are we gonna do? And he just kept playing. And he was like, I already got an apartment. I already took my name off of the lease. He had done things. Within that 24 hours, he had opened up the filing folder of his single man life and went ahead and got all the shit done.
Yeah.
Women these days are the real plot twist. They want life to play out like a Netflix drama where they write the script, they pick the ending, and everyone else is just a supporting character in their solo performance. One minute she's filing for divorce, claiming she needs to find herself, even though she never lost herself, just lost interest. And the next minute, she's sliding into the same man's DMs she walked out on like nothing happened. Hey, just wanted to check on you, girl. What? They expect the man to be sitting there, heartbroken, candles lit, Adele on repeat, just waiting to give her attention the second she snaps her fingers. Like seriously? You tossed the whole relationship like yesterday's leftovers, and now you want eye contact and emotional closure over a late-night text? Here's the kicker. They don't even want reconciliation. They just want reaction. If the man stays silent or, God forbid, moves on, she's shook. How dare he not spiral into a sad boy montage? Women act like men are emotionally bulletproof when they leave, and then get offended when the guy doesn't fall apart on cue. Sorry, but men aren't emotional punching bags or backup cheerleaders. Sometimes silence is the final answer, and that's the real twist they didn't expect. Thanks for watching Manhood. If you want access to exclusive episodes and want to support the channel, hit that join button and become a member. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if it hit home. Drop your stories and thoughts in the comments. We read everyone. See you tomorrow.